questions about, because that's what's been in the media the last several months since the decision was made to, allow girls to get into our programs. We're going to go through the Cub Scout program in more detail, but we'll also touch on the program for older girls, Scouts BSA, which launches in February, because we probably have questions about that as well. So what I want to cover in the next 20 minutes or so is how does family scouting work? And second, what Patriots Council is doing to help your unit along if that's something you decide you want to do. First point that is very important for everyone to realize is family scouting in the context of girls and women being in the program is nothing new. Girls have been active in our Explorer posts and venturing crews since 1971, and women have been Scoutmasters since the mid-80s, and Cub Scout leaders long before that. So you see in the presentation a couple of slides of girls involved, and I used that one with Nancy Pelosi to show that wasn't taken last week. That was when she was the Speaker of the House, which was obviously a while ago. And this is just a fun picture. If you ever see the Brian on Scouting blog, he's the editor of Scouting Magazine. He published an article written by that woman who's sitting up on top of the deck there. And she now is an early adopter Cub Scout and leader out on the West Coast. And her mother dug out that picture of her tagging along at a brothers meeting. And the idea is, girls have always been around our packs, and it's just about time that they're allowed to receive the recognition and be full members of the organization, if that's what your unit chooses to do. We'll get more to it later, but it's really important to realize that no unit's forced to become a family scouting unit. You can remain all boy if you want, become all girl if you want, or you can have mixed ends to be a family unit. That's what you choose to do. So that's a picture of just one of the girls in my pack getting her Bobcat badge pinned on her by her dad. So this wasn't a decision that the Scouts came to willy-nilly. There's been some talk in the stratosphere on the internet about the Scouts just doing this and people not wanting it. And I suggest to you that all the evidence shows otherwise. There was an in-depth study done, and these slides, which you can get on our Family Scouting website, show some of the criteria and the questions that were asked. So on this first slide, we being the Boy Scouts, not me, asked parents of girls who aren't currently involved in the Scouting program at all if they would be receptive to having their daughters join a program like ours. And you can see the results. 90% of parents said, yeah, that's the sort of program I want my daughter involved in. So there's this 50% of the population of children, and 90% of their parents say, yeah, that's something we'd be interested in doing. Parents of daughters who are also parents of people currently in Scouts, it's a little less, we're not hiding that fact. But still nearly 70% of them said they would be interested in bringing their daughters into the Cub Scout or Boy Scout program. And so that really says a lot about the potential growth in our membership numbers and what it can mean for your pack if you choose to go down this path, because there's real interest in community as something that could really grow and help transform our units. As I said, if you have a type of unit where the culture is that the little sisters are already hanging around, why not, right? So then this next page, we talked about unit leaders. And what I really like about this is on the right-hand side, it says 76% interested, but those are unit leaders who are members of the National Eagle Scout Association. So people who went through the program, understand the benefits of the program, and themselves benefited from it, think it's a good idea to get girls involved. That's huge. And 74% Cub Masters overall like the idea. Once again, it's not 100%, but that's a big number of people. And then we jump to the next slide. The The boys themselves, even most of the boys are okay with this concept. And, 61% said that they like the idea a lot or probably like the idea. And only 13% said they really don't like the idea. And when you drill down on that 13%, when the program was explained to them how it would be run and that there wouldn't be girls in their dens or in their patrols or even in troops, that number went down significantly. So really, I suggest these numbers show to you that the resistance to bringing girls into the program is nil when you really understand how the program is being run. And that the idea that, boys need boy time and girls need girl time, all that stuff is fair. Those things will continue, but it's not going to change the program drastically. So really, as a summary of those findings, families want access to the BSA programs for all of their kids. And one of the things we really saw when talking to people is that millennial parents in particular really like the idea of being able to have a one-stop shopping where they're running to lacrosse and they're running to soccer, then they're running to Little League and they're running to softball. We all do all those things, and the idea of having a program where the whole family can come together and participate is something that really is ideal and it really draws a lot of support in that age group. So how does it all work? Back in October, coincidentally my daughter's 10th birthday, on October 11th, they announced that this program was coming out. And she was really excited because it was a great birthday present. And then they announced that we were allowed to have early adopters. We had 5 units in our council that were early adopters, including the PAC Metropolitan, that registered girls. As of June 1, any PAC that chooses to be a family unit can register girls. And so we've already passed that. We don't need to focus on the early adopters. But one thing that I want to say about the early adopters is some people were a little bit surprised by the requirements that were necessary for units to become early adopters. Those requirements are no longer in place. Now it's just the same requirements for any unit. So before, where people were put off, they needed all the leaders to have all the training and all sorts of extra steps to show that you were a quality organization. Now, as long as you fit the minimum criteria to be a Cub Scout PAC, which presumably all your units are, you wouldn't be in the room, you can make that decision to register girls. Troop age girls are going to start in February 2019. There are no plans to have a soft early adopter launch as of today, and I don't think that's going to change. Can't promise that because they roll out things fairly frequently and sort of keep us moving. So girls and Cub Scouts. They got the same programs, the same awards, the same uniforms, right? Nothing is changing. There are no changes in the requirements. Yes, the girls can wear a blue skirt if they want, but that's about it, okay? If you have a all-girl PAC, you have all girls. You choose to remain an all-boy PAC, great. If you become a family PAC, you need to ensure that your girls are in separate dens than the boys. Question: I'm starting my family PAC, and I only have 4 girls, so I have a lion, 2 bears, and a weevil. What do I do? You can do a mixed age den. It's not ideal. Obviously, in a perfect world, you have dens and kids in the right ages, but small PACs have been doing mixed age dens for years, and I would suggest, based upon my experience rolling out the girls earlier this year, I did start with a mixed age den, and I've been adding girls, and as I get that critical mass in each age group, I break them off, and we're almost to the point where they're all separate dens. I have one girl who still hangs out with the tigers, but we're getting there. Yes?
Just a question, where you are, is there an active Girl Scout?
There are, and you know, it's kind of funny, I'm a weed club den leader, and 5 of the 6 girl weed clubs are all in the same Girl Scout troop as well.
Are they doing both?
And they're doing both still. You know, look, the Girl Scout troop that they were involved in doesn't meet as frequently, doesn't have as many activities, so I suppose that allows it to be it. Then the families balance both at this point, but we have no reason within our organization to say you can't do both.
What town are you in?
Our patch is Sparta, up in Sussex County. I don't know if, you know, the Girl Scouts, we all know, haven't been exactly thrilled with some of the things in their statements, but as far as I know, there's been no statements made that a girl can't be in both organizations. If you're going to be a family pack or a girl pack, there is a form you have to fill out and return to the council. In fact, if you want to just be a boys pack, you're supposed to return it, okay? I am on the Family Scouting Committee, and I can tell you we've only gotten 30 or so of those forms back. If you're gonna remain a boy pack, all right, it's not the end of the world. But if you want to be able to register girls in your unit, we need to know, so folks in the back room can flip a switch on My Scouting to make you a family pack so girls can be registered. You don't want to have a kid's registration bounce back because the system doesn't recognize the fact that she's a girl. Moreover, we'll have a presentation later on the Be a Scout pin, right? But if you're going to accept girls in your unit, you want the pin to be updated to show that you accept girls. So if someone goes on the website looking for a unit, they'll go to your unit. If it just says all boys, the interested girl won't go there. You may think that, you know, Bill and Al and everyone else in the back knows that, but they're balancing a lot of units, so you can't really rely on them just to remember each unit's election off the top of their head. That needs to be updated, that form needs to be sent in. You email it in. If you need a copy, ask me, I'll get you a copy. But every unit leader has been handed them round tables, they've been emailed, they've been hard copy emails, okay? So people have it. But if you don't, let me know. Family Scouting Girl Troops, as I said, February 1, 2019. Girls can earn an Eagle, right? They will be doing the same program as the boys, but we will not have the mixed gender troops. We will have single gender troops. So if you want to have that available in your town, you need to start taking steps now to line up a charter organization and get the program going. What's nice is we can have sister troops or brother troops where you share a charter organization and you share a troop committee. However, you need to have a separate scout meeting master and a separate patrol leaders council and separate meetings. That doesn't mean you can't do some things together, and obviously the new girl unit would likely want to rely on the boy unit for some help in the early formation, but it's important that they remain separate units. And that's not because of any youth protection concepts. That's because boys and girls develop differently, and an 11-year-old boy, an 11-year-old girl, and a 12-year-old boy, and a 12-year-old girl are very different with their leadership skills and mental capacities and all those sort of things. All they do that by the time they're 15, 16 years old is, oh, they can be adventuring together. But we want to have that path where the boys can do their thing, and the path where the girls can do their thing, but they all learn the same great curriculum that we all believe in, or we wouldn't be here today. Okay? And look at this. The Scout BSA name. People lost their minds on the internet when the Scout BSA name came out, right? I see some smiles out there. It's not new. That's me. That's an old shirt that I had when I was a kid. I was in the leadership corps, pre-gay venturing, and the older kids in my troop got to wear green shirts to show we were the senior patrol. And look what it says on the public box. It didn't say Boy Scouts of America. It said Scout BSA. So that's not, that Scout PSA concept isn't a new intellectual property. It's something that's been in our church for a very long time, and it's just being rolled back out. I referenced the linked troops already, but one additional point on that is there's some really neat things happening on the West Coast, in the Pacific Northwest specifically, with linked units. Not so much with the girls yet, because it's new, but there are communities where you have a pack, a troop, a crew, and a post that all have the same charter organization, all meet at the same time in the same building in different rooms, and they have a parent troop, as they call it, at the same time when the parents hanging out, drink coffee, and play cards together. And the beauty of those units is nobody ever quits because it's a family event and everyone goes every week. They have waiting lists to get kids in because the building capacities don't allow them to take more kids. Wouldn't that be a nice problem to have? You can coordinate activities and move on from there. So think of that with the girl troops, the co-ed pack, and the family pack rather, and the boy troop. We'll have two separate packs, okay? You can link it all together, have separate things, maybe do a group opening, whatever. Great idea. There's a lot of recruiting materials out there already from National. Here's a couple of examples. My favorite part is that there was a commercial for Scout Me In that was filmed, and it's got the kids from my pack in it. Long story how they ended up in it. Some old guy with a beard even makes a cameo, which is kind of neat, but it's out there, and you might see it on TV every now and again, but it's been all over the media. But people have a lot of misconceptions because a lot of reporting hasn't been accurate. So if you elect to be a family unit, make sure you study up because you're going to get some questions that are based upon news media reports that aren't right. You need to be able to explain why it's truly not co-ed, that Johnny and Susie aren't going to be sharing tents and that we're keeping them apart at the appropriate times, but we'll come together when it's appropriate. So the Scout Me In campaign we're going to talk more about later, but that's really the program's intellectual property and the new media blitz to let people know that, hey, everyone can join Scout Me In. So we talked about the program, the basis for it, the overall program on Patriots have to. So we have our family scouting committee. A few of us in the room are on that committee. There's a representative from each district who's the family scouting champion. I believe Jennifer right here is the Fishwack representative, as well as each of the committees that the campaign program membership, they'll have a member on the committee as well. And we've been meeting on a monthly basis to really lay out the program and make sure that each aspect of our program is ready to accept the girls into it. And things are already coming out. If you go in the scout shop, they have the gender neutral books in the back. You can only get those if you have girls in your pack at this point, but they exist. Also, for our summer camps, girls are eligible to attend all of the programs at summer camp this summer, which is pretty amazing, and it's going to be a seamless operation. So we worked through the early adopter program, as I told you about, and here's some pictures of the early adopter packs doing their thing. They look just like regular Cub Scouts, just some of them have ponytails, right? Really no big difference there. So communication is key. There's the email there, 358 Family Scouting at scouting.org, which gets the email to the Family Scouting Committee if you have any questions. There's a postcard over on the table there that has all of the district champions listed on it and our contact information. And look, it's the summer, people go away on vacation. If you email Jennifer and she doesn't answer, email me. If you email me and I don't answer, email Jennifer, right? We're all willing to help. Don't just rely on the fact that this person is your district person and be afraid of it. We've been going around doing these presentations, and I think we're all pretty familiar with what needs to be done at this point, and we really want to see it be successful. So, the lecture extravaganza had a boy and a girl on the patch there, which is kind of neat. And the council committees I talked about a little bit quickly there. Don't want to keep you here all night. That's the form that you need to fill out and get back to us. It needs a signature of the Cub Master, the chartered organization representative, and the PAC committee chairperson. I like to think the reason we haven't gotten them back a lot of units is tracking down those 3 signatures can be hard sometimes, and you can recognize that. But be prepared, your friendly neighborhood family scouting committee is going to start pulling units that haven't given us those forms, because we want to know the answer, so we can prepare to help you accept the girls if that's where you want to go, or not the right girls to you if you want to stay all the way. That's pretty much that. Anyone have any questions on family scouting before we move on to the next topic? Yes?
You mentioned before disinformation about the program. Has there been any questions, articles, et cetera, about a pack that decides to remain all boy and then is challenged, if you will, by a family who wants to get their daughter into that all boy pack?
I have not seen anything like that yet. But remember, we've lived in a world where this has been open to virtually every pack for about 3 weeks now. And we're just in the early stages of registration. So I have not seen that happen yet. I would think that we will have enough units that choose to be family scouting units, that if you choose to not accept girls into your unit, and you say, you know, we're not a family scouting pack, but the unit that meets at the church down the street is, I imagine that would keep the peace with everybody. I think the only chance that there would be a problem is if we have a situation where the entire Sussex district says, forget this, we're not going family scouting. But I don't see that situation happening with any of our districts. Everyone has at least a couple of units at this point. But I would suggest to you, if you're thinking of remaining all boy, to rethink that. Because if you have a family embarking on scouting fresh, not someone that's already in your path, your new lions, your new tigers who are thinking about joining for the first time, and they got boys and girls in their family, and there's the pack that's going to accept both of them, and the pack that says no, just one of your kids, I think you're going to see a situation where the family packs are the ones that are going to grow, and then we'll see atrophy in the units that choose to remain just all boy, or just be all girl. I mean, obviously that's a guess on my part, but it's just something you should think about. And the other point to add on that, funny things happen in my pack. We've gotten 3 or 4 boys to join because their sisters were in first. Didn't see that one, right? So we've only seen positives so far. It's really working well in our unit. Not that you have to do it, but it's just a point to think about. Other questions?
Just to ask you about 2 things on that also. We have found in the 6 months that we've been doing this, give or take, that schools and churches and places that you would normally recruit are much more willing to work with us when we say it's boy and girl. We've had several large school districts in our territory that have flipped the decision to not do paper flyers and what used to be called boy talks are now called school talks for both genders, that have flipped the decision for the last couple of years and said, no, you can't come in. Now all of a sudden this year you can because we serve the whole school. That's, we've seen that too. The other thing also is this designation form. It's important when you're making that decision if you're going to stay an all boy, go family scouting, or start an all girl pack. That decision really lies in the charter organization, not that one cubmaster or that may be 4 or the day. At the end of the day, that cubmaster is going to move on. The charter organization does not, for the most part. And at the end of the day, the charter organization has the final say what members join or do not join. That's why they sign the application. So if you're making decisions without checking the charterization, it's going to be a red flag. And that's really what the point of this form is, that make sure everybody's on the same page. We've also seen a lot of packs where there's, like I said, there's girls that want to join, or their sibling, the brother's already in the pack, the girl, daughter, sister, whoever wants to join. And the pack says no, the whole family has to pack up their bags and move to the pack next door. And now the pack is half the size within 6 months. Just kind of keep those kind of things in mind, that can remain all boy, which is okay, or be all girl, but you have a lot more challenges that we see. So there's a lot to consider. And that's why part of the reason we did this was to make sure everybody's fully educated on the decision that they have to make, because people make decisions on wrong information or not complete information, and then they find out 6 months later that, or 6 weeks later that they made a mistake. So,
And if anyone wants us to help you talk to your charter organization, we're happy to go with you. Yes.
Is there any downfall to saying that you're going to be a family pack and then you don't have any girls show up? We don't know if any girls are, we have a pretty strong Girl Scout program. I've talked to the Girl Scout leader. She doesn't want to, she's furious, you know, don't go near, those are girls, don't steal her girls. But we don't want, you know, to turn people, I know my daughter specifically wants to go camping and our Girl Scout program doesn't do that.
So if your daughter is the only girl in the pack and she's okay with it, the Boy Scout police aren't gonna come after you.
But I mean, is the Boy Scout police is it gonna raise a red flag if we say that we're a family scouting, but then
Absolutely
no
not.
girls register?
No, because you know what, this is a process. We're not gonna have a world where 50% of the kids in your unit are gonna be girls tomorrow. That, you know, that might not happen for a generation, if we're being honest about it. But if you get the sisters that are hanging around in, and they bring their friends, and, you know, this next year you have that one den of 5 girls, and then the year after that becomes 10 girls, before you know it, you're at 50% of your pack, and you've doubled your size. It's not happening tomorrow, and you know, maybe your daughter is a lone wolf, if she's okay with that for a little bit. And
Well,
you see the rank.
sees her brother doing these things, and, you know.
Yeah, look, it's absolutely fine. And, you know, I think, what I can tell you from what I've seen in my unit, we marched in the Memorial Day parade, and there was chatter along the whole parade route, holy crap, there are girls, right? And it's real, it's not just something that's, you know, on the internet. And people really had interest, and we've gotten some more members since then. Last night, we had a recruiting night. I signed up 6 more Girl Cub Scouts, and I signed up 5 middle school girls into an Explorer Club that are going to be the basis of our troop starting in February. So there's interest out there, you just have to get it going.
And if nobody's income police for you guys in the unit, it seems to be a very large concern. So if you get the 1 girl in the first 6 months, or 2 girls, or 3, whatever, nobody's gonna come say that girl can't be here. What we will say though is that if you don't have the approval from the organization, that will raise a red flag, because if the organization come back and say, we didn't say we're gonna take girls, or we didn't say we're gonna take boys with a small girl pack. We made a decision, and again, the organization has the final say. The only time that the council can deny anybody is health and safety, meaning background check, or they've done something they weren't supposed to. So that's the only kind of that, but make sure you get the form before you get the girls.
Yes?
Have you had any harassment from people who are against this program?
Everyone within the Boy Scouts program has been very gracious and kind to the girls. I know some leaders don't like the idea. I've had my girls at the round table doing the open and Camporee, and everyone's been very kind. The only negative I came across was the New Jersey Herald newspaper did a newspaper article. Some of our kids were on the cover of the paper, and there were some not nice comments in the newspaper, quite frankly, by people who have nothing to do with the program, never had anything to do with the program, who think they know that somehow this is Barack Obama's fault, right? This is not a problem within the organization on any level, in my opinion. Good question. Anyone else? All right, thanks a lot, and so I'm going to hand it over now to Jennifer Young, who's also in the Family Scouting Committee, who's going to talk about the Scout Me In program and our representative little things.
No, that's fine. It's pretty simple and fast.
It is.